It's not telling me recording is okay. There it goes.
Well, you just look at your icon, it should say that it's
Oh,
recording.
recording. Oh, I see it right there. Very smart. Okay, cut that out. That's so bad. Alrighty then. Okay, so here's the thing. I fucking got so mad. I feel like the light is angeling me again. But I got so mad. It happens every day when I see the about the president and his decision to give these white Afrikaans people refugee status for several reasons. And I know I'm not supposed to get mad and I'm not supposed to get involved. What do you,
No, that's just
what?
how I do it. You know what I'm saying? You
I
can
know.
do you.
No,
You know,
because it doesn't, it's like, how is it serving me? You know what I'm saying? And
that's
the
what I
things
say,
that,
you know.
right. But it does,
Yeah.
okay, for me, justice is a big deal. And I really feel like if I'm not fighting for it or at least paying attention to what's going on, talking to people who maybe can help in certain situations, then I'm not fulfilling something inside of me. Also, no. Also, I really think that I really hope that people can be fair always. And I know that's unrealistic, but I just have that inside of me. So I'm always presenting the other side because I feel like Black people, especially, get a really hard, like, a bad rap over everything. And it's like, does anybody give a fuck at all to just say, hey, oh, that might be the reason this is happening? It's never that, it seems like to me. It's always like Black people are just born bad. So I mean, okay. Black people are notoriously bad at
Okay, so
accountability and criticizing
yeah,
ourselves.
so yeah, that's true, but I want to just to say that I'm kind of like that too.
I know.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm not so
Why
much.
though?
Hmm?
Why?
Why am I not trying to figure out why they're doing what they're doing? Or I don't understand what you're
Yeah, like
saying.
why don't you care? Like why don't you see like causation as a like substance to the bigger story?
Because I think that for the most part we know we know a lot of the causes and we don't need to
We
make
do.
excuses
I mean, some
for
of
it.
us do. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think
I mean,
everybody does.
I don't know how to put black men in the homes. I don't know how to make them stop listening to trash music. I don't know how to do those things, right? I mean, we know some of the causes.
But it's like if we live in
But
a
the only thing
cycle.
that, like I said, the only thing that I can do is raise my vibration and the ones around me, and that's the ripple effect that's the only thing you could do.
Well, I'm trying to save everybody, all them little
No.
niggas. They're all worth saving to me. I swear to God, they are. I was at the gas station and I pulled into this just in front of, I guess I didn't see him, and it was this young nigga, and he got out and he was like, he was so angry, and he was like, I just got out of prison, bitch. Da, da, da. Like he was like really trying, like, and his whole shit just to me, I saw that and I was like, he so needs a hug from his mom. Like that's what he needs, you know?
Yeah, the Captain Save a Tribe.
That's fucked up.
um,
If everyone was like you, we just all just
yeah, I can't do the Captain Save a
walk
Tribe
backwards into
thing.
the ocean, I guess.
Especially if they are not trying to save themselves. Again, this consciousness, they need to up their game. You know what I'm saying? Generally speaking, that's why I don't really get into it because I mean, a lot of people are quite happy in that base level of energetic vibration, and I am not one of them. So I don't really,
Okay.
I don't really go down to hang out with them a lot. You
What if
know
they
what I'm
don't have the
saying?
tools? What if they literally don't have the tools?
Okay,
I worked
so
on a,
again, the way that it works is a ripple effect
understood,
because
but
they may not have the tools, but maybe their neighbor has the tools, right?
okay, so
They
when
may
I,
not have the tools, but maybe they come across my
no,
video
when I
and get
worked,
a tool.
I understand that when you come across somebody and like you can look, there's certain people that will gravitate towards that. There's some people
Mhm.
that do not have.
Yes,
Okay, so
but they're
I
meant
want to
to be
say
there.
No, not these kids. Come on. I worked on this show in Compton,
Yes, because
for the
there's some
trauma
sort of a
unit.
consciousness level that we as humanity need to achieve for there not to be that. So that
Right.
they need
So
to
my
be
purpose
there
then I think
to to
is
to
relevant.
well, no, that's not irrelevant, but they need
No,
to
I
be
said it
there,
is relevant because I
yeah,
can
to point
show
out
them
to the
something
rest
and
of
they can
us,
come. Yeah.
what we're doing wrong and how we can improve and those sorts of things. So yeah,
Okay. So let me just
go
give
ahead.
you, I do want to give you this example that I was working on this reality show in Compton and we were following the trauma unit for, God, I'll just say 6 weeks or whatever. And there
The
were
trauma unit
the trauma unit, like not the
or
police, not the ambulance, but the trauma unit that would have to go to crisis situations. So we're
it's just
that
called
was
the trauma unit.
yeah, it's called, I mean, they are part of the fire department technically, but they show
Okay.
up for other calls as well.
Okay.
And that's just what it is. It was called First In. You might have seen it. I didn't actually like the ending. I mean the edits. But anyway, long story short, there
Too late.
were huh?
Sorry.
My kid
I said
what?
too late.
Oh gosh, shut up. This is actually interesting. So there were
Well,
young
you don't have
kids.
to say it's interesting. I'm listening. I'm
Oh, I
sorry. I'm
need you
just
not to
teasing
do
you.
that. She's such a bad cat now.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay. So so there were people that lived they never left the 4 block radius ever, like ever.
Yeah, I
Like they
know.
never and they were, and so those people didn't have the tools to know anything but what they know. So when they put red shoelaces on their kid for 6th grade, they're doing it to save his life. They're not doing it because they want him to gangbang. So like they have other tools and other skills, stuff that some people don't.
Okay, but just like you can't make a generalization like that.
What do you mean? I talked
You
to them.
just
I'm saying I spoke with a lot of people during that
right,
show,
you
and
spoke
so
with
that's
yeah,
why.
but so some of them are doing it to keep them kids safe, but not all of them.
No, not all of them. That's why it's even a thing. But it's more of a thing, and I'm not even playing when I say this. It's more of a thing in Compton and places like that because the police wear blue and they got guns, and the kids wear colors too and they got guns, and they feel like the police are a gang, and they feel like they need to have their own certain unity. And they say this with tears in their eyes, like they're really heart. These kids have heart, and they're scared. They're scared they're gonna die at the hands of the police, and it's happening over there. So I don't know.
Okay.
I see everything and I talk to people and I feel that I want to have justice. And that's what brings me full circle to our president, who I'm hella disappointed in.
My ex, quite possibly the love of my life, my ex
Right.
just lost a child to to police violence. Um,
In LA,
so
right?
well, LA adjacent. She's like in San Bernardino County. I mean, not San
Yeah.
Bernardino County, but it's not important. Anyway, so I say that to say that I'm very close to this kind of what you're talking about, right?
Mhm.
But again, how many of those mothers have fathers in the home?
Right. Right. But if the young black boys aren't going to grow up to be fathers, how are they going to be fathers? I mean,
You understand the thing that what needs to happen, in my opinion, for something in these like for what you're talking about is love of family needs to be promoted within the Black community.
mm, yeah. What's crazy is that these people have family. Like they're not biological, but they have family, and there
What
is
do
a
you mean they
love.
have family?
Like their people are their family. Like I mean, we use that word. Like
No,
what's
no,
a
no. Okay, see,
fam?
look,
Yeah,
stop.
but it's
Yeah, but
they would
stop
kill
doing
and die
that.
for them
Stop
though.
doing that. I
What do you
hate when
mean?
people do that and they make one word mean two different things depending on how they want to use it.
Oh,
When I'm
maybe we
saying
made
family,
America.
when
Out,
I was
stop.
talking about family, I'm talking about mom, dad,
Right.
and children in the house. I'm not talking about your friends that you're really close to.
Yeah, but if they would literally ride or die for you, like, and it doesn't. I just don't believe
Some
that
of your
all
family
families are
doesn't ride or die
biological.
for
But,
you.
huh?
A lot of your family doesn't ride or die for you. That's not really the point.
I know, but I'm just saying that they're the only ones that
Right, you're
have their.
conflating
I don't
two
know.
things
I
that are
don't think.
entirely separate. I'm talking
Okay.
about
I mean,
family, not people that you like. not people that are loyal to.
It's not about just like, but
You don't
okay.
like your
Okay. No, I'll
family
go
half
with
the
what you're saying.
time.
Go
Your
with what you're
family's
saying.
not loyal half the damn time.
Yeah, true that. True that.
Right. So it's
But
not, so
that's
we're
why I say
not,
families aren't always biological. And sometimes
yes, they
somebody
are.
has, okay, well, I don't know. My dad's gone and I have my daughter and my son. And you know what I'm saying? Like I don't then that would put me like with no family at all. And I don't consider that to be a fact.
What?
Like I because you're saying that families are only biological, then I have a family the size of what, two? Uh-oh. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I'm gonna put her in the hallway. I have to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But when I'm talking about the Black family unit, I'm not talking about everybody else in that sphere. I'm talking about mom, dad, and kids.
Right, but if those people don't
Stop with the
exist,
buts. Like, what are you talking? What are you even
because if they
arguing?
don't exist, if the fathers died or in prison, because you don't like this is the
Okay,
thing.
none of
If
that. Okay, stop. You're so off the point.
no, that's what the situation in a lot of these
No,
hoods.
I said that these women that you're talking to that are putting red laces in their children's
We're
shoes
talking to
in
men.
order to save them. What do we do about how do because they're not being exposed to the knowledge.
I
I
just so you
said
know,
part of the reason that they're not being exposed to the knowledge is because there aren't fathers in the home.
just so you
See,
know,
one
I
of the
didn't talk to
reasons that
one
this
woman
kid,
in
one of the
Compton. I
reasons
only
that
talk to men. I just want you to know that.
okay, so one of the reasons that this kid, my ex's child, was killed by the police is
I'm sorry
because
about
I gotta understand there's like I got a lot of guilt there because I
that.
wasn't there. But I tried, but she was so on independence. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
She
Yeah,
was
that's
so
one
on.
situation though. That wasn't what I
I know,
experienced.
I know.
Okay.
I'm speaking anecdotally on purpose,
Okay, that's fine. I get that.
right? I'm speaking from experience. I'm saying like I had to get out because, she was making bad decisions and I couldn't be the man of the house there. She wasn't following, saying like he wasn't stepping in line. So,
Right.
and then this ended up happening later on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It is. It's a site, but and
So,
it'll
so
go.
right. So what I'm saying is for the Black community to heal, we need to promote and revere the family.
I
And the
agree with you there.
family is not everybody that you like. The family is mom, dad, and children.
So you don't believe it takes a village.
That's
Like,
not the point.
but I'm saying that okay, fine.
Both
Then
things
it's
can be
gonna be
true at the same
semantic.
time.
It's gonna be
Okay,
semantic.
no. Okay, just like you say, both things can be true at the same time. It does take a
Right.
village.
Right.
And I'm talking about family structure.
Understood.
What
Understood.
works? What's worked for
Right.
centuries?
Okay, so I just want to say this because I was actually going to do present this too. I'm just putting it together because it's a large topic. But the crack era, like the fact that there was no repair after that, like that was a really rough time for. I can't. My childhood, like without tweakers on bikes and shit like that was like a big part of our lives, and we lost a lot of fathers, and we lost a
I grew
lot of.
up in Compton around the crack area.
Right, Oakland. I mean, I grew up in Oakland. Like that shit was wild,
Yeah.
and Oakland's wild now, and they still don't say it's like the 90s and 80s, you know?
No.
So it's like,
But
yeah,
it's wild
because
in a
of
different
crack
way
now. So
though.
it's
It's
like,
wild in a different way, these streets today.
oh
It's different.
yeah, it
It's just
is. It's like a bougie crazy. I'm just
no,
like, you guys are, y'all don't know.
it's a little less for me, in my opinion, it's a little less down to earth.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
They have crutches all over the place
well,
to me. Like,
yeah, it's a little less down to earth. I mean,
yeah.
when we didn't nobody was riding on and shooting up shit unless like something fucking you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody didn't have
Well, I
straps
can't say
for
that about
every well,
Oakland.
that's not
Oakland was
true.
very trigger happy.
Huh?
Uh,
I guess
Oakland was
I'm
very
just I'm just kind of just musing a little bit, but never mind what I'm saying. Anyway, go on with your thing.
I'm really am disappointed. I know it doesn't show right now, but I'm hella disappointed in President Trump. And the reason why, going
Oh
back
yeah,
to
that's where we
this,
started
that's
with
where
the
we
white
started.
South Africans. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm glad we had that talk. Like I think
Okay.
it needs to continue and it's good. So yes, I'm going to just to refresh us, I'm just going to share where this started. And this white replacement theory and genocide and stuff is not a new accusation or allegation. And Um, where am I? I do want to define genocide for the record because I think it's hella important that people actually understand what the hell because words get devalued, and I don't think it's fair to the people that are actually being genocided. We can use Palestine as a as an example. Like that's a
I
great
don't know
example.
that Palestine meets the legal definition of genocide either, but
Yeah,
go ahead. What do you think?
they do. You said you don't know if it does?
I don't know that they meet that definition. But yeah.
Definitely. And as at least according to the definition I have right here,
Where are you getting
which
it from?
I am getting it from, hold on one second. I did put okay. It is from the UN Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, Article
From the
2.
UN? Okay. What you got? Talk to me.
Okay, so it's genocide means any of the following. You know what? Do you want to read it with me?
No? Oh,
Okay, all right. So genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such, killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, and forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. So, um, I don't know. Thoughts?
no, that's the definition of genocide. Again,
Right.
some would argue
I
that they don't meet that definition in Israel-Palestine.
I know that the white people don't, the most white people, I don't know any time in history that white people have been genocided because of their ethnicity and because of their
What
genocided
percentage of the world population are white people, do you
a
think?
lot.
Like of the world, how many are white people?
I mean, I can find out for you specifically,
I
but
know the answer specifically.
oh,
That's why
then
I'm
give me the
asking.
answer. I don't fucking, I'm sorry. I don't know.
Somewhere between 7 and 12%
Incredible. And they just,
of the entire world.
mhm, mhm.
So, being worried about their extinction is a real thing for them.
The president showed a video that he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that? It's not true. The video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that that video showed the crosses that represent.
What the president claimed.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin.
The president
And those
claimed
crosses
that
are
it showed
representing
the
their
burial
lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
The fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed, because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the
No, it
White
did
House...
show that. It
who at
showed
the
white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
verifies the videos that the president shows, and what protocols are in place when there's unsubstantiated information being put out for the world and world leaders to
Yamish,
show?
what's unsubstantiated about the video? The video shows crosses that represent the dead bodies of people who were racially persecuted by their government. In fact, the Associated Press, of all places, has a picture of that very monument, and the caption from the Associated Press is, "Each cross marks a white farmer who has been killed in a farm murder." So it is substantiated, not just by that video and the physical evidence that everybody saw on display in the Oval Office, but also by another outlet in this room, the Associated Press. So you should take it up with them if you believe the claim is unsubstantiated. And that's a ridiculous line of questioning. John, go.
Like what is
Right,
that?
too. What a fucking
Huh?
dumbass line of questioning.
Why is it a dumbass line of questioning? I have the exact same question. Like,
Are you serious?
why
Okay.
is your team not
Okay.
vetting? Wait,
Okay.
why is
Listen.
his
I'll
team? They're
explain it
making
quite
him.
simply. What you're arguing is that there aren't actually dead bodies under those crosses.
No, that's not
That's
what
what
she
she's
asked. She
arguing.
said, no, the
Yes.
argument, none of that is what I'm
There
not even
aren't actually
saying
dead
that.
bodies under those
No,
crosses.
listen to what I'm
So, yeah.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying. And no, there aren't. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is her question was what protocols are in place to substantiate evidence? Like how can the president just get up and give false information like without any like
Yes, he didn't give false
yes, he
information.
did give false information.
How
Yes, he
so?
did. Huh?
How so?
Okay, here I'll play some of the debunking, but that has the facts that have the facts. But and
Yeah,
it's
that
all
lady sounded like an idiot.
what'd you say?
That lady sounded like an idiot in the press room
She was asking why. What made her sound like an idiot? Do you think? Like, because she just all she asked was
because it was a
what
stupid
protocols are
line
in
of
place.
questioning. The idea that because these crosses represent dead people, but they don't actually have dead bodies under them is
I didn't hear that as her main point at all.
well,
What I
that's
heard
what
is
she was
what
asking.
protocols are in place because no, she didn't.
Right, because the president said they were burial sites and they're not actually burial sites.
Regardless, they don't represent
Right,
even
but they
what
do
she's talking
represent
about. I
dead
mean, it's
people.
just crazy to me. But
Well,
here,
yeah, she sounded like an idiot. I was like
I
totally.
mean,
I
not.
was
I
like,
mean, our
lady, shut
president.
that. It was
We
like
should hold
so.
him at a high standard, and he
She
sounds
sounded like yeah,
batshit crazy.
yeah. She sounded really stupid.
I have the same question, so I guess I sound stupid too. Like,
Yeah,
what
the
protocols
dumb
are in place?
question.
Because you're making America look, but
No, no,
it's
no, we're
really
not. It's a
bad.
dumb question.
What'd you
Next,
say?
I would have done the same thing as Carolyn Levitt. Moving on. Let's get
Oh,
somebody
but
with.
I didn't know that. I didn't
So,
hear.
yeah, that was some dumb shit. They don't actually have dead bodies under them. They still
No,
represent
I
dead.
didn't even hear that part. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about what protocols are in
Play the
place to
clip again, and
substantiate
you'll
this
see that's what
goddamn
she's
evidence
asking.
that Elon's
And
high
you'll see
ass
that's what
gave
she's
me.
asking.
It's just
Every
so
cross
crazy to
represents
me.
somebody that's dead, and it's
I'm
a lot
good.
of crosses.
No, they don't, but
And
not
people,
white South Africans and not even in the fucking. I'm
okay.
sorry. Okay, so here, I'm gonna play this one first because it's always fun to just see people argue.
It's not true that some white farmers have been murdered?
No, it's not true that there is a genocide against white
Okay,
farmers.
whatever you call it, have white
Yeah.
farmers been murdered?
Actually, how many
have
white
violence been
Hold on,
committed
wait.
against
How
white
many
farmers?
white farmers? Hold on a second. How many white farmers have been murdered in
I don't
South
know,
Africa?
several. I mean, they asked.
No, no. How many?
I don't know.
How many?
I don't know, several.
I know why you don't know, because those numbers don't exist broken down by race.
I mean,
how
I
many
know this.
black,
I wouldn't
how
trust the
many
South
black
African government to tell
farmers-
me. I know that.
How many black farmers have been murdered in South Africa?
Look, you guys are so triggered over 59 people.
No, I'm not.
After we left 20 million people in
haven't
the
even
country,
brought
I don't
up-
know why you're so
haven't even
triggered
brought
over
up the people, the white people that Trump picked out because they were white and told them they could come to the country.
How much racial
There
killing are you going to condone?
There are 19,000 murders in South Africa. 36 were on farms. 7 of the farmers were victims. Okay, this is according to the South African police.
And you think the South African government is a
The
credible
other
source?
29, hold on a second, the 29 victims who were included in the farm killings were farm employees who tend to be black. So the vast majority of people killed on farms in South Africa are black. Where is the concern about them?
The concern is that there are white farmers who have had violence committed against
why
them,
is
and
there
they're being
concern?
threatened. They're being threatened
Why-
every single
why-
day.
but Scott,
There's 59
but Scott,
people,
hold on a
and
second.
you're triggered about 59
No.
people,
I
and I
haven't
don't know
mentioned,
why.
I haven't mentioned anything about 59
to
people.
substantiate
not-
that white
Why are
farmers are
you
being
only
targeted.
concerned about white people?
I'm only concerned about this story because these 59 people asked for status. They're getting status, and now everybody's freaking out
They
about
didn't
it.
ask for anything.
There
Actually,
is no evidence that
I always see here
Um,
crocodile tears of white people.
we can listen to him if you want.
Malema
You want to
wants
hear?
to kill white people.
Malema?
I don't know.
Akash,
Do I?
I mean,
Stop being sensitive. No one is going to kill you. You think we're going to kill you because you killed our people. The killing mentality is in your head. We don't have a killing mentality. We have a mentality of justice and peace. The only thing we are not prepared to do is to prioritize peace over justice. There must be justice first before there is peace. Because peace without justice, we are pretending. One day we are going to have an outburst. Please, we don't owe white people an apology. Black people, stop apologizing to white people. They are the ones who are owing us an apology. You have done too much to damage a black nation. We are unemployed because of you. We are dying of diseases because of you. We are illiterate because of you. We have surrendered to drugs because of you. You owe us a lot.
for genocide.
You must show remorse and stop behaving like crybabies. The South African democracy is going to be built by a robust debate particularly when it comes to race relations. We must stop pretending to each other here.
So I mean, that's the gist. But
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't give me good vibes. Sounds like a bully.
uh, what makes you say that?
Stop being
Like he's trying
crybaby.
to uplift.
Nobody's trying
Well,
to
they are
kill
being
you. He sounds
crybabies.
just
Like
like, yeah,
they
okay,
are though. Like
maybe.
it's like
But
it's just
that's
so
what the bully would
ridiculous to
say.
me. You know what I liken it to?
It's like literally what the bully would say.
I guess
Stop
I
being
don't
a
know if that.
crybaby. It's not the hero's line.
It's such a common thing to
That's not
say.
the hero's line
Well,
in
then
the
why? I
story.
mean, I get that, but then why does the president use it and all of his followers and all that stuff? It's such a common thing to say these days. Like they say it
Ooh,
all the
I have
time.
not heard that line since I was like 7 years
Crybaby? Are you
old.
kidding me? They, oh my God, snowflake, crybaby, say like all that shit. They say,
Right, but that's not how the good guys do it.
I don't know of any good guys currently.
Okay, I'm just saying. That's the vibe I got
Okay,
from
but
that particular speech.
right, that's fine. I
So,
mean, I've
but it's
heard,
somebody else's business. I mean, I'm peeking over the fence into my neighbor's house, so I don't really know what's going on.
right. So we can just go by. I mean, there's a lot of I mean, did you hear what she said though?
See?
That what, about the numbers? You heard the numbers? Because
Yeah, but the way she was doing those, made it sound like they don't know and not like they had a
no,
number.
well, that's what she said to him because he didn't know he didn't have
But
it
if
broken
they
down by
don't know,
race. We
that's
can
not an
only go by the
argument in her
percentage.
favor, is what I mean.
You said what?
If they don't know the numbers, that's not an argument in her favor.
No, no, we can only go off the actual numbers of like so farm murders account for less than 1% of all the murders in South Africa.
Yeah. But
And
it's like, do we listen to okay, when we talk about how many illegal people came over the border, do we listen to Biden or do we listen to Trump? So where do we get the numbers that they're talking from?
this
Is it
I'm telling you the demographic of the country. So that's how we can get the numbers. We know there were 19,000 murders in 2024. So farm murders account for less than 1% of the murders in South Africa and most of the victims are black, not white. What is it?
okay? If
7%.
that's true, then that's true. Okay.
So white Africans are 7% of the population and they still own 70% of the land and have significantly more wealth. So the patterns of socioeconomic, you know what I liken it to? And I don't know, people might get mad at this, but this is how I feel. The Stop AAPI hate thing, when they're saying the black on Asian crime, black on Asian crime and all that stuff. It's these are socioeconomic problems. Like if you move yourself into the middle of the hood, you might get crimed
What is a
because there's
socioeconomic problem? You said these are
the
socioeconomic.
poverty. I'm sorry, having poverty, lack of resources, lack of jobs, and these people are getting robbed. Their farms are getting robbed, and that doesn't mean it's because they're white. Like
Okay,
they're
the white farmers are getting robbed.
that's what all of these murders are from. They're not just genocided. I mean, sorry, that's just
So you're
speak for
saying that
them.
these are robberies. They're not.
Yes, I'm not just me saying it, but yeah, a lot of people are getting robbed in South Africa, just like a lot of people are getting robbed in the hood, and some of them happen to be Asian. That doesn't mean that they're getting targeted because they're Asian. They're just experiencing crime, and it's unfortunate. It sucks for all of
Okay.
us.
All right. No, I
So,
understand that perspective. I don't know enough about it to, like I said, I'm peeking over I'm looking through the keyhole, you know what I'm saying? So,
right. Well, how much information do you have on the history of South Africa, like apartheid?
I mean, how much
Like it's
information
pretty
do I
much.
have?
Yeah, I mean, you know about apartheid, right?
Just keep with your presentation.
Well, that wasn't part of it because I thought it was common knowledge. But I will go into it a
About
little
what
bit
was
if
common
it's new.
knowledge.
That there was I mean, that there was apartheid in South Africa, and
Yeah,
for
of course.
okay,
That's
okay,
fairly common knowledge.
okay. So when that was over and
But
done,
again, like I don't remember how old I was when the apartheid thing was really going on.
hmm
And I don't know how much of that was a corporate thing. Because I remember they had like the whole live concert forum, like how they have Live Aid and Farm Aid, and they had
I
like,
mean, no, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
So
the
I don't know
U.S.
how
out
much
of
of
Africa
that.
was a
I don't know how
different
much
thing.
of that was an op. I have not ever gone back to revisit that. The same way that the '60s movement and the CIA was an op. The same way that civil rights was an op. Is probably the same way that this apartheid thing was an op in South Africa. is the way I'm looking at it these days.
Okay, I'm gonna play this from somebody that was there.
Mhm. You could talk to hippies from the 60s and they could tell you what it was like and to be there in the movement and all of that stuff too. But that doesn't mean that it wasn't CIA funded.
Well, exactly. And that's one of the things that is so it's very frustrating about learning that some of these things are not real when you're like, okay, well, the construct of race is fake, but racism is real. Like there's things can
Well,
exist at the
what I
same
mean is
time.
that when I look back on the apartheid in South Africa today, I will probably look at it through a different lens than
Right.
I would
It doesn't
have,
change.
or yeah. But anyway, yeah,
It doesn't
play.
change the experience of the people that lived it or had to or died in it, Like
No,
that was real to them. So,
yeah. Do that.
um,
Start it over.
Oppress people of color and all people of color. No, I mean, I feel like everyone should know this, but apartheid was basically a system of laws in South Africa, a system of laws that were designed to oppress people of color and all people of color. Apartheid made it illegal for black and white people to interact with one another, my parents included. At the time when they were a couple, it was against the law. Me being born was against the law.
It's a crime for him to be here.
Yeah, my dad couldn't be on my birth certificate. My parents couldn't have me on you had to have a registry of all the people that lived in your house at the time. My grandmother couldn't have that in her house. But I think most importantly, the thing a lot of people don't realize is apartheid essentially was perfect racism. Like I'm still learning about how perfect the system was in terms of they went around the world. The government actually set up a commission to go around the world and study racism. And America was one of the places they came. They went to Australia, they went to the Netherlands, they came to America, and they were like, what is the racism here? How does the state oppress people of color? What can we use from the system to take home? No, I mean, I feel like everyone should know this, but
that was it.
apartheid.
Yeah, they study everything like that.
I know they study
study
except
systems.
one thing they haven't studied is so weird to me is the white people getting together and having picnics and to watch black people get hung and white people getting in these.
Say that again. They
haven't studied that. No, there's not a
they haven't I didn't understand what you said. They didn't study what?
Oh, I'm saying, how there were lynching parties where white people would invite their kids and their friends and all that stuff, and they'd make postcards and stuff like that. There's never been a large scale study on why that was acceptable behavior and how to prevent it from happening again. It's really weird. Like there's nothing that has ever been studied about that or even presented, to the people. Like this is the reason why all these white people mobbed up and just started hanging black people for everything and burned all these towns and Red Summer. Like it just hasn't
too broad a description of anything specific. That's like a humble jumble. That's like a mush of words.
The picnic in itself should be
Why was
studied.
there racism? Why were there violence and racism?
No, why did they make
picnics specifically? You think somebody should study why they did picnics specifically?
Do you not know where that was? Where that comes from?
Okay, I'm answering my question.
Yeah, definitely. I mean
there should okay. I'm just trying to figure out where money for that's going to come from.
Do you know where that comes from?
What?
Picnic.
Yes.
Okay, so I think that since they study,
do you want to tell? You want to say it?
Yes, that groups of white people would get together with their children and their family and make sandwiches and all this stuff to watch black people get hung, which is disgusting. And it's I wouldn't even want to watch an animal get hurt, and sit around and eat. So I find since they study everything else, you would think that they would study that mentality, because then they would make postcards and send them out to their friends. Like, look at this, I killed a guy.
There were some times in history where they had public beheadings in the middle of the square.
Same people.
Huh? What?
Same people. It should be studied.
Why people kill other people? I don't understand what the study
publicly is. And send out postcards.
Why are there public executions?
I don't know. They study everything else. You said, why wouldn't
I'm
they?
just trying to understand what it is that you would like us to study. Is it why there are public executions?
No, why
violence is committed?
Why the mob thought it was acceptable to celebrate these many times murders over nothing and invite their children, and there was 100 years where they got together and that was just fine. We should figure out why that was okay with them. Why did you feel like you could do that? Why did you guys I would like to know the psychology behind that, and it's never been studied or presented. So that's all I'm saying. It's very
Okay,
interesting.
so the psychology behind
Getting together with people just because you share
group
skin color
violence,
and huh?
the psychology behind group violence. I mean, I don't understand
Not
what you.
group violence.
I
This
don't
is
understand
literal
what you're.
murder. This is murder and psychological
Okay,
warfare. So
again, we're
it would
talking
be
about
nice to
something
know
that is
why
not
that happened.
unique. Okay, but we're
I
not
mean, I
talking about
don't think that
something. We're not
this is
talking
out of
about
the
something
realm
that's
of
unique to a time
comprehension.
period. We're not talking
Do you
about something
not?
that we're not talking about something that's unique to a time period,
Yes, it
to a
is.
country.
We're talking
No, it's
about Jim
not.
Crow. Yes, it is. They don't have picnics right now. Are you talking about?
Okay,
What are you talking about? They
so
don't
so
go and
so
burn
then
black towns
okay,
like that's, I don't. I
okay,
feel
so
like you're
then
purposely trying to misunderstand me because this is so logical.
no, I keep asking you so that I do understand. I said, are you
Okay, then let
talking?
me finish this. Let me finish what I'm saying then, and I can explain
Okay,
it
all right.
because you haven't let me do that. So maybe why you misunderstand.
If I mean, like, I can't follow you if you can't build on something when there's now no foundation. So I'm trying to understand the foundation of what you're saying. You're saying that there needs to be a study on why they had picnics during Jim Crow?
That was an example. Okay.
Of
I'm sorry.
what?
I'm sorry if my frustration is palpable. It's because I am flabbergasted that you don't know what I'm talking about. So here, I will try to break it down in a term in more simple terms. I'm sorry. I thought that, you know, like minds and whatnot. So that was my assumption, my poor assumption. So what I'm talking about is in the late 1800s through the early 1900s, it was acceptable for mobs of people to murder other people in public arenas and found
This is
it.
all over the world
No, I'm just talking about in America,
and all over America.
specifically because America is very,
Is this all over America? Every state in
Um, I
or
mean,
every
mostly in the South,
okay, so mostly in the South. So this is a Southern phenomenon. Okay,
mostly.
so I'm just trying to. Listen. I'm drilling down so I understand what you're saying here. So go ahead.
I know you know history though. Like I just,
Right.
so you know what Red Summer was, correct?
Um, it's not ringing any bells.
Okay. Um,
Okay, so
no,
we've
I'm
got
just trying
this.
to think. I'm trying to put it into. So Red Summer was when groups of people, white people, went all across the South and they massacred people in towns, and
Okay,
it was called Red
so
Summer because
with these picnics, that let's go
that's just
back to
one
that for a
aspect
second.
of it, though. That's
Yeah,
what that was one
let's go back to that.
fine.
How many picnics would you say happened in total across the whole of this whole? Were there millions, thousands? I mean,
Thousands, thousands.
a couple thousand,
I'm not sure. I
25,000.
actually have the book. It's just a hard read. It's a hard look.
Well,
Um,
the reason that I'm asking is again, like you're saying there needs to be a public study, and so far I'm looking at a couple thousand deaths, public executions 100 years ago, and I'm not sure that we need to be. I'm not sure. I get what you're saying, but it's not on the
if it
100 years
if it
ago.
were if it were
Or at that same time that you're talking about, we were having what time period did you say?
late 1800s to early 1900s.
Right. We're having World's Fairs at that time, and we're having
Well,
incubator
the tail end
babies
of
at
them,
that
tail end of
time.
them.
And
Yeah, well, your people weren't
right.
really in
So
that.
my point is, I mean, I don't doubt that certain aspects of slavery have been grossly
Not slavery.
exaggerated to play on our emotions.
Not slavery. And these are also
Okay,
oral
slavery, Jim
accounts,
Crow,
and there's
but again, oppression.
literal
I
artifacts
don't doubt that a
showing
lot of
the
it is
entire debacle.
exaggerated in order to play on our
All
emotions.
right. Okay.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
I
my
wouldn't,
emotional response is not because
yeah,
of any
there's
kind
no
of
part
trick
of
or
me that
ploy.
thinks that we
My
need to
my response is
study
because, God, why
why
would people
people
do
wanted to
that
have
to other people?
picnics.
I don't care if it was two people. Like we should study that. We should figure out why that was acceptable. It's really,
Yeah.
really
Okay.
horrible.
I think that would be a waste of time and resources.
I do hope that it never happens again and that you're not first.
It'll
So,
probably happen again. That's how
Well,
people are.
not if we studied it and figured out why the hell they did it.
No,
So
we still know why they did it and they still do it. We know why they did communism. It's still a thing.
communism
I'm
is
just
like,
saying.
you know what?
You
No pun
know?
intended. Communism is a picnic compared to what I'm talking about, but whatever.
Okay.
Um,
Say so.
I just have a large, massive confusion in my brain. I gotta shake it away. Okay. Um,
No, I mean I get that it's something that's near and dear to your heart. I understand. I just don't necessarily think that it's something that, it should be like I don't think it's
do you remember my sentence? Like you said they study everything, and I said, you know what hasn't been studied? That's all that I said. It's not near and dear to my heart. It's just curious to me that such a significant um, event to so many people. I mean, like it, it should be studied. It should at least be. I'm not saying a massive study. I'm not saying like tons of resources. I'm like somebody should figure out how these mob mentality. Uh, I don't
I
know
just
what I would call it. Tragedies happen, and
I
how
think
so
that would
many people
be
are involved in so many. It's like
I
like
think that would be like trying to study why they were doing beheadings in the public squares in England in the
I don't,
1600s.
because that's not this timeline. We're not even in the same
I
timeline.
know,
These
but
people, there's people
it's the same thing.
and the same people. So sure, go for it. Let's study
Right.
it.
People lined up, there were groups of people outside, during when people got hung in the Old West. There's stories about that, when they hang the bad guys and people crowd around and watch the shit happen. I mean, like
Yeah, but they wouldn't usually make postcards and they wouldn't sit with their kids and like take pictures and stuff. I don't know. It just seemed a little different to me. I could be wrong. I don't think so, but I could be. I have been before this one time. So,
I thought I was wrong once, but I was
mm,
mistaken.
you're never wrong. You know everything. So let
I
me
don't
play
talk
this
about
one
things I don't
more on the
know.
South African, just the facts of the pictures that he was showing so that we can get back to that whole like, is there no process of vetting these things? Because I am curious too. Cool. Yes. I said it's yes. Hold on. You can play.
Trump has misrepresented the fact in. I want to start with these articles in particular. At one point, the US president flipped through his paperwork. He says death, death, death on each page. He says that these were all published in the last few days, and that one headline and that all the headlines show white farmers being buried. Now, at one point in particular, he held up a headline to the camera here. We can see the headline clearly. It says, "Let's talk about Africa, which is where tribalism takes you," published by a blog called The American Thinker. There's also a thumbnail here of bodies being buried as well. Now, this article that he's holding is still online. It's pretty easily findable. And unlike what he said about this all being in the last few days, this blog post is not. It's dated February 13th earlier this year. As for the image that he said there shows white farmers being buried, this is not even in South Africa. This is actually an image of aid workers burying bodies in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, how do we know that? Well, it's pretty clear, linked here at the bottom in the blog post itself. It says image, YouTube screen grab. Pretty easy to click on the link and it takes us straight there to a report published by Indian media WION using Reuters footage showing women being buried following a mass jailbreak in Goma. So not South Africa, Yinka, but the DRC. And it is a story that is months old as well, unlike what Trump claimed in his meeting. Right, Trump was pretty keen to roll his compilation clip. Well, it started out with archive footage of Julius Malema, who is a South African black nationalist politician. That's possibly why President Ramaphosa stifled a slight smile when he heard that voice ring out, because it is a voice that he recognizes. Now, Malema previously led the ruling ANC party's youth wing, but he was expelled around 2020. He has never held an official government position, despite Trump's misconception there. He now leads a minority party in South Africa called the Economic Freedom Fighters. And President Ramaphosa did reiterate this to Trump, that he is very much a minority with no executive role, and this has nothing to do with his government's official policy. Now, later in that compilation clip, there's also a video, an archive video of the former president, Jacob Zuma, singing a controversial apartheid-era song that includes the lyric, "Shoot the Boer," the Boers of which, the descendants of which are the white Afrikaners in South Africa. Now, this is a controversial controversial song. The ANC did promise to stop singing the song after that. Now, Trump said in this meeting that those singing were officials in office, but this is simply not true. This video is well over 10 years old with no officials in office shown. Again, Ramaphosa did tell Trump directly in the meeting that these videos, these speeches, these rallies in his compilation have little to nothing to do with the way he runs his government. Now, I want to turn to the final video in Trump's compilation there. It shows white crosses lining a rural highway. Let me bring that up so you can see that better. But this is the video that the president played for President Ramaphosa. Trump said that this shows burial sites of over 1,000 white farmers, with each cross representing a different farmer that was killed. But these are not graves at all. According to local news, this was in fact from a protest in 2020, so 5 years ago now, in memorial for a white farming couple that was killed in their home, according to the police report. According to the Google Street View data from 2023, we can see that these have been removed and that they no longer exist. Now, Elon Musk did post this video twice on his platform X in the last 6 months. We can see him sharing that video as well. Now, overall, Trump's compilation does mislead that there is a wave of anti-white hate and white genocide taking place in South Africa. And while the country does have a very high murder rate, it's around an average of 72 people a day in a country that has a population of 60 million people. Most of these victims are black. And I just want to end with these figures from the South African Police Service from 2024. They recorded over 26,000 murders in 2024. 44 of these were within the farming community, and out of that, only 8 of those were farmers. I think that's a good point for us to end that.
I'm sorry, but that is so not a genocide.
That was a good report, and but she was a little slick with some of her talking, like some of the things that she said. I wish I had seen what she was talking about before she spoke on it, so I could like have that kind of fresh in my head, you know. As far as the white crosses, they've been gone since 2023. That's an interesting fact.
I think she said 2020. I thought she said 2020.
Well, you know, I mean, that's an interesting fact.
Yeah.
And if they were there for, I don't know why all those crosses would represent one white couple's death, but okay.
Because
you know.
I know that, well,
Right.
there is an overabundance of
So
reporting when
again,
white.
you know, I'm looking through the keyhole into somebody else's, you know. I'd have to think that Trump has top level
You
information.
would think, right? Like,
Right.
why would he not? But this is not just her reporting on it. Like, there's so many reports with more proofs. Like, there's a ton more proofs.
Well,
So,
yeah, but you know, I mean, there's some
but
slick
why wouldn't
talkers
his
out there too, huh?
information be right? Like, that's very
There's
weird
some
to
slick
me.
talkers out there, as in,
I
okay,
just don't
look,
see the point. Like,
we
I don't.
just listen. Okay, it's weird that you could feel that way, having gone through what we just went through, watching Jake Tapper do his apology tour, talking about how he missed Biden's incompetency or whatever, you know, that he, you know, like nobody knew that he was incompetent. The whole media, you know, covered it up for
I
four
mean, let's
years.
put all
No, my
everything.
point, listen, my point is, you know, I don't know. I mean, I heard her report. She made some good points, but I'm not going to take sides in that. I'm not even taking sides.
Even if half of what she's, even by the numbers alone
Mhm.
that we've been presented with now several times, even with just the numbers alone, that is not a genocide. Even if that was a thing, like, but
Okay.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. And
Okay.
the other thing is too, the crosses and the pictures that he's showing, the ones from the Congo, which I saw that for real Prison Break, and that was just devastating. It was horrible. It was horrible. And I just wonder, do we want to know, or do we care? Like, why does Trump not care about that? And why does he not care about the
I don't
fact
know
that
what he cares about and what he doesn't care
I'm
about.
saying he clearly cares about the Afrikaners, like Afrikaans. I don't know how to say it exactly, but he's prioritized them. He's created a
Well,
refugee
he's
status for them.
going on the
He's,
information that he has.
right, but we have information on Palestine. We have information on Haitians. We have
Okay,
the
what do you mean
DR.
we?
We
What do
have
you mean we?
the president of the free world, the most powerful
Okay, so did
nation.
you see the story of John Rich when he went to the White House, the country singer?
No,
Okay, so John Rich went to the White House and had a meeting with President Trump. And sometime throughout the meeting, Trump turns and looks at John Rich. John Rich is telling the story. He turns and looks at John Rich and he says, "Why am I getting booed every time I mention the vaccine?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so John is a country singer. He's not part of Trump's cabinet. He's not Lindsey Graham. He's not JD Vance. He's nobody as far
Mm-hmm.
as that goes, as far as intel and information goes.
Mm-hmm.
Trump didn't know why he was getting booed about the vaccine. He had to
That's
ask John Rich, a country singer. My point is that Trump is, he's got access to the best information, but there are people that give it to him. So whatever information he gets is filtered as well. I don't know what he knows. I don't know how he feels. And so I do not speculate.
okay. Question.
Yeah.
Is it within the realm of possibilities that Trump does understand what the cartel is doing to people's land and people in Mexico? Is that
Yeah.
within the realm of, okay.
It's
So
also in the realm of possibility that all of this is to stoke racial tension all over the world because it's a divide and conquer tactic.
why would he do what? Okay. Possibly, possibly. You know what? Then their presentation should be a lot tighter because that is
Whose
sloppy as
presentation?
hell. President Trump, like those pictures, the dates are on them. Like it's irresponsible and it's sloppy. And Elon is out of pocket for sharing that also because that is like all these people not only believe it because it comes from the king of all things tech or whatever, but also because President Trump's base thinks that he's saving everything and everybody, and so they're falling for it. And then the stupid dumbass reporters come along and call it a what did they call it a attack or whatever. I forget the word that they use, but they were all in unison,
Ambush.
an ambush over and over again, making it even look so stupider and like a lie. It's just all messed up and irresponsible. And I still have the question, like, why are they special? Because it looks a lot like it's because they're white. It really does. And that's messed up because I've been sitting here like Trump is not racist. I got video compilations, all this stuff. I've really been standing against the grain of almost every single person I know, at least. And this is not a comfortable feeling. Like it really, really makes me mad. Um, I'd like to know the answer to that. And because you're showing videos that
Answer
aren't the
to
videos, you're
why
showing you don't
he
have,
feels something for these people in particular?
yeah, like why are these people being like there's people in
Are they the
Mexico.
only people that he's taking care of this
Yes,
way?
he closed all refugee programs. He
So
closed
there's
them
nobody
all
else from anywhere in the world except these white people that he's taking care of?
that he's taking in currently.
There's not.
Yes, he closed all refugee
And
programs
how many did he
except
take
for the
in?
white Africans.
And how
Huh?
many? How many?
Oh, I don't know if there's been more since the first 58, but it's 58 out of a scheduled 8,000.
So he
So
let 58 white people come in here from
no,
South
well,
Africa that said they were fleeing persecution, right?
with that, I'm not okay.
I'm
Regardless,
just trying to understand,
I mean, I don't know how many he's let in, but at the time of that I saw it, when I was like, I just
So yeah,
unbelievable.
I mean, I just can't get my panties in a bunch for
He's
Trump
sending
letting
people to
58
El
white people in
Salvador.
the country.
He's sending prisoners to Libya, but he's letting these people come in. He doesn't know who
What do
these
you mean
people
sending
are.
prisoners? Okay, look, you're conflating way
That's
different
not
things. Like, what are
conflating.
you
I'm
talking
saying,
about?
why does he give special treatment? Some people have to be,
I don't
he's
know why these people got special treatment.
right. That's what I'm just wondering.
I don't know that it's special treatment. I know that's what you're saying it is, but I don't know if it is or not.
Okay. Well, he did talk to the president of the country about it, so it seems a little special to me. I don't think he's ever come to, you know,
He had the same kind of blow up with Zelensky in the White House, where he did the same shit.
again, I mean, okay. Well, that wasn't a blow up that he
Listen,
had
I
with the
mean, I guess
African.
if
That
listen,
wasn't,
I guess
I
if you
didn't see
want to,
him. I
I
honestly didn't
guess
see
if you
him.
want to really see everything through the lens of race, you're allowed
I
to.
don't
And
know. I'm not seeing it through the lens of
I
race. They are
don't.
saying, did you
If
hear
they were
her words?
black,
Did you hear
would it
her
be different?
words? Did you hear her
If the
words?
people that he brought over from South Africa were black, would it be different?
Oh, he won't let black Africans, but yeah,
Okay, again,
they're
that's
not
a
black.
simple
And
question.
no, listen to what I'm saying. She said they are white people. They are white people getting killed, and she doesn't have the right information. And that's my problem most of all, is that why are you sharing information that is wrong? And why are you sharing it so adamantly? And Mr.
Why is
President,
the press
shame on you.
secretary lying? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking why is she sharing Okay,
Right. Why is the press from why is the like
fine.
are
Why
we
is the
talking like
president lying? Why
just
is Elon sharing this
that's their
information? I get
job.
that.
That's literally
Okay,
their
that's
job.
Elon's job.
The press secretary, you said that's what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
but I said also Elon, why is the president, why is his team not vetting information better? Like it just looks very
I don't know.
sus.
I don't know if if vetting information better means that they see things the way that you do.
Unless they're, no, I'm saying share accurate information to support your very public display of granting refugee status to one group of people.
I
Have
don't
accurate
know
information.
what's
We pay for that
accurate.
shit.
How do
Like
you know what's accurate in this
because you
situation?
just saw there's proof right there that those photos weren't accurate. The crosses weren't accurate. They weren't for the right thing. There is no proof of a
Yes.
white genocide in South Africa, except for
Okay.
Elon saying something and some other people getting on a
Okay.
plane coming to and
Okay. I'm not
yeah.
on the there's a white genocide going on in South Africa trip. I'm not doing that.
That's what
But
Trump
I'm looking
is.
at
That's
these
what he's saying.
crosses and I would like to probably drill into that story a little bit more
Go
because
for
neither
it.
one of those stories make
I might have
sense.
more.
You know, I'd probably like to drill into that a little bit more. I mean, the reporter, she
I
was a
mean,
slick
I have.
talker.
It
You know,
looks
she
like
was
now
saying
that I
certain
see
things.
it,
You know, and maybe
it
they're
just
not
looks.
all white farmers. Okay, are any of them white farmers? I mean, I don't know.
There was seven. There was seven. Seven of the farmers were white, but that's
I
again.
don't know. I don't have enough information. Not from that
I
lady.
just gave you all the numbers though, and so did the woman that was right there. The numbers
Right.
are the numbers. Like it's
Right.
the
But I'm
numbers
not.
because we know how
But I
many.
didn't. I never said there was a white genocide in
No,
South
the
Africa.
president did. I didn't say that you did. I'm saying the president. I find it
Right.
very,
But I don't
very.
know what. Yeah, again, if those are actually the numbers and he's coming out and he's saying it like he is, then he's
Yeah.
100% wrong, but I don't know
He
what to do
said
about that.
thousands and thousands of white farmers killed, and the crosses represent them. that is not even close
That's
to the
not true.
vicinity of
So he's
truth.
wrong about
No,
that. Okay.
he's
Okay.
very wrong. Like that's not fair like I see more crosses. Like the girl, you've seen the crosses on the hill for the missing girls of Juarez. Like that he doesn't care about. Like it's just so weird to me that like can we just get some understanding because it feels bad for your president to um hone in on one group and go out of his way and have meetings with the president, all this stuff, because a couple white farmers are upset at what's going on in a crime-ridden country. Like it's horribly crime-ridden, and there's a reason for that. And nobody wants to, they'd rather just come here and so I have two other videos. I don't one video, if I can calm down, because these two videos made me even more mad than the damn
Okay. So you
president
so
and
you think
frivolous.
that the way you see this is our white president looked at these white people in South Africa and felt bad for them and hooked them up.
I mean, it's looking like that.
That's what you
And
see?
it's looking like
Okay.
that. I can't come up with another reason why the hell.
Okay. I mean, I'm just
It's just very
trying
weird.
to get where you coming from with this.
And you know what? If it was good information, I might even just be like, oh, well, I guess he likes them better or whatever. These people deserve, the best chance at life. I just don't see the missing girls at Juarez is right next door to us. There's crosses all over the hills representing the mothers that have lost their children. I mean, their daughters to, the cartel and the cartel sex trafficking and shit like that. So why aren't we helping them? Like, do we get a, I just,
Yeah. I just
it
don't
feels
know
bad.
how I just don't know. I just don't understand the veracity of either report. I don't know. I mean, I got one report where somebody's saying that these are farmers that died and somebody's saying that it's not. And so
Well,
I probably would have to try to figure out who's the source I trust on that more before I would jump into that personally and make a, you know, before I would say anything about it personally, make any judgments.
Um, okay, so I just have one video. The other one, I don't have, but I'll tell you. I want to say what was on it. So the man was saying that Malema, the killer, the farmer, that guy, that he asked for the land. Where's the land with that the farmers that came to live out here under refugee status, where's their land? Because he thinks that it should go to the people. And the gentleman explained in no uncertain terms that they still own their land. You can't, they are still owners of the land. That is their land by law.
Who still owns the land?
The the farmers who came out here for refugee status. They still hold the land.
The white farmers?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Start again.
I'm just saying that that was the information that I
But the
wanted to
white
take
farmers
straight
still
to
own the
them.
land,
Yeah.
according to.
According to actually don't know his status, but he was speaking about the law in South Africa, and the law in South Africa says there's been no transfer of title. That land is still theirs by law, and you cannot take it, et cetera, et cetera. So that's
And who's trying to take it?
Malema had asked about it going back to the people.
Okay, but
But
who's
that's not
trying to
my
take it?
point. My point is just that they still own the land, and we're over here paying for them to have refugee status and whatever else is going on. It just seems a little. It's different than most refugees. They don't own land, and they
Okay,
don't
again, we're
own.
talking about less than 100 people, though, right?
8,000 is the scheduled amount. So I don't know
That are
what the
coming from South
flight schedule
Africa.
is. Yes,
They've scheduled 8,000 people to
8,000.
come.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
is that everybody?
I don't know. That's the initial number that
What's
President
the
Trump gave.
population of this white South Africa that you're talking about?
The population is 7% of what is
No, I
the?
mean, how many people are we
I'm trying to.
talking?
I know I'm
I
trying to
mean,
figure it out because I don't have that number in front of
because
me.
if they're bringing 8,000, if they're talking about bringing 8,000 farmers over, I mean, that's a lot of fucking farms.
I agree. And so then that's what led me to this other video. I can look up the number after this, but I wanted to play this because this felt a lot like, well, we'll see.
I mean, I don't know what South Africa's doing personally. I mean, if they're the white farmers and they're feeding everybody, then why are South Africans giving them shit in the first place?
Because they're not feeding everybody.
I mean, they're
It's
not feeding everybody.
in
I
South
mean,
Africa. They export a
that's
lot of stuff.
production.
Yeah, but they
Yeah, but
export a
why
lot of
would you
stuff they're
fuck with
not feeding.
production?
Huh?
I said, I don't know why you'd fuck with production, but anyway, go ahead. I'm just,
I mean, because he doesn't want to give money to anybody if he cannot give money to
if you're not
anybody. And
having, but
so,
without production, you don't got no money. So I
well,
don't know
look
why they
at
would do
they're
anything to
coming here
halt
to
any
be
kind of
productive.
production. Huh?
So the thing is, like, I don't hate what this guy's saying towards the tail end, but I'll give you some thoughts. And I'd like to hear yours too.
So I've been fortunate enough to be able to make contact with several senators across the United States of America, and hopefully I get to set up a personal in-person meeting with them to discuss the resettlement of Afrikaner farmers in their states, hopefully predominantly my own state that I now call home, Alabama. Our plan is to raise funding and purchase land legally. With this land, we would divide it up into several farms and then hand it over to South African farmers coming as refugees to America. This way, they will be able to get government funding as well as funds that we raise in order to start their farms and start adding to the agricultural sector in America. There is a food crisis in America, not because there is not enough food, there is clearly enough food. However, the food that the Americans are eating is poisoned. It is poisoned with red 40, yellow 5, blue 2, folic acid, and many, many other things that are just detrimental to the body. So when these South African farmers arrive, unlike other refugees who burn the American flag, the South African farmers will represent a complete different genre of persecuted refugees in America. These refugees will start growing crops, they will start raising animals. Just like myself, my end goal is to own massive farms with wonderful meat, grass-fed meat, grass-fed
I'm
lamb
gonna
and
stop him.
beef,
You get the
as
point.
well as
I don't really want to hear about his beef, but what?
Um, you said you wanted to get my thoughts on it, but
Yeah.
I don't really have any.
Okay.
I mean, he's just doing his thing. He's trying to handle his business and he's got his plan and good luck, bruh. Work your plan, I guess. I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to think about it.
I mean, he's just saying that the 8,000, we'll just use that number because that's the president's number. He'd like to make sure that they all get government grants to buy land and farm here They still own their farms out there, but to come here, it just is very reminiscent of like when they first, at least on paper, populated the Americas, and they were giving
Mhm.
farmland to people, the original colonies. Like they when after the
Oh, when
Revolutionary,
they were okay, go ahead.
yeah, they were giving farms to people. They were populating the lands. Like the thing is that, and I don't even know, like, I'm not Mexican, but I know, like, and I usually am not one to like stand up for anybody coming over here illegally or whatever. But like, they're great farmers. We know that. Like, they're right there. But nobody has been granted these provisions, government access to grants and stuff for farming land. For land is different. Like I the houses and stuff pisses me off with the legal people getting access to some of the programs that California at least has offered, but nobody's been offered land and farms. Like that hasn't been a thing. It's pretty specific. And I know a lot of people, especially Black people displaced from the South, who would like to get at just their land back, And it seems like he's prioritizing something through unwarranted evidences and unwarranted, like because Elon said so or whatever. It looks really
I
bad.
am very much an American first type person, so I'll always advocate for that to go to Americans before it goes to somebody else. But
Mhm.
other than that,
Okay,
you know,
me too.
I
I
can't.
mean, I
I'm
can
not.
show
I'm not
you.
trying to knock his hustle.
No, like I said, I agree with what he's saying about the farming shit, but like
I can't
I'm
knock his
unmoved. I'm
hustle.
unmoved by his
I
like it's
wish you
not.
luck. If it works out that you end up getting some money, I mean that's like good for you.
Well, it's your money, so
Yeah.
you give him the money. Okay,
Huh?
I don't want to pay for that. I do not want to pay for that.
It's not like you have a choice.
I know, but I don't want
Like
to.
we
Is what
really
I'm saying.
get
I'm
line
saying right.
item
Huh?
vetoes and stuff. Not
I
like
mean,
we
I say
really
that
get
all the
line
time.
item
It's not
vetoes.
specific to this fucktard, but like I
No,
say it all
every
the time. Like I don't want to pay for that. There's so many things our government spends on that I don't want to pay for. So it's not, I'm not being specific to him in
yeah,
this
that's just a whole
instance.
different conversation.
Huh?
That's just a whole different conversation.
Okay, well then speaking about him, I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah.
I don't want
Mhm.
for more white people that hate black people to live in Alabama. I don't that on farms
Okay.
that land is in
Didn't
dispute.
he say that they were bringing over black people?
No,
He did.
no. To answer your
He
question,
literally just said that he was going to bring over black farmers to farm the
no, he
land.
didn't. He said South African farmers. Make no mistake, South African farmers are only white people. That is like,
Okay, so he's got 8,000 and they trying to bring over even more people. They need more than 8,000 people.
I don't
Like,
know. I don't know if if his numbers are within the 8,000, but he's definitely not. He's talking about
you
South
sh
African. Yes, that is
yeah,
who
I
the
don't, I
farmers
don't,
are.
I don't know. The math
They're the
ain't math as
descendants of
far
the
as I can
Boers. They're the
tell.
Afrikaans. That's
The
what it is.
math is not mathing as far as I can tell. Do only white people work these farms or do black people work?
Yes, yeah. I mean, to the percentage that we've heard
I mean, are
them
we
say.
talking
So
about farm owners or farm workers? Like
farm owners,
you're
but
right.
he's
Okay.
bringing the farm owners. The farmers are the owners. This is the terminology they use in South Africa. The farmers, the Boers, they're the descendants of the
They're the ones
original
that own the land.
owner. Huh?
They're the ones that own the land.
Well, they're the ones that took the land originally. So
They're
yeah,
the
I
ones
guess you
that
could
own the
say that it
land.
was stolen. It was stolen. But yeah, they're the descendants of them. And that's
This
what the
whole
song
stolen land argument is like so stupid. If you
to
get
you,
conquered and you
not to
lose your
me. I think
land,
that
then
people
that's what
should
the fuck
also
it
have
is.
it. I don't that
It's not
see, yeah, I'm
stolen.
not built like
It's
that.
like
I think
people
conquering
conquered.
is the
That's
most.
how the world worked for all
No,
of
it doesn't.
eternity.
That's
That's
only
how
there's
it
only
worked.
one group of people that does that
Oh my God, no, it's
all over
not.
the land. So that's
What
the
are you
thing.
talking about? It's not
I'm
only
gonna
one group
smoke
of people
because
that does that. That's the way the entire world has worked for the
okay.
entirety of history that we're aware of.
Right. Implemented and carried out and executed by a particular group of people that wanted the papal bull is actually a thing like that. The doctrine of discovery was implemented by the Catholic Church to go and conquer every single land. They happen to have black, brown people on it, people with brown skin. Who cares? That's not the point. They went out and they conquered every land. They created the Black Codes, which was a status and law, the laws that they wrote, the laws that they oversaw after they conquered the Moors. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. Like, but they have spent a jolly good time doing it. And I can show you, well, ugh. Bad cats. Um,
No, you were getting into something actually that was a little bit different than what I was talking about, I think. And you kind
okay.
of made it, okay, look. All right, so look. Okay, so but look, this is the thing. I'm not I'm just I'm a big alternative history fan, right?
I mean,
But
it's
for the
all.
purposes of the conversation, then we're talking about it a certain way. But there's almost always some sort of a but that you could say at the end of something. My point is
And
that the
upset.
way that the world has worked for, the time that we know of, it is what it is.
Well, it was what it was, but see, people are trying to
When
change
the
things.
Kennedy's dad was bootlegging moonshine and made his fortune that way, he still made a fortune. When, um, well, not Def Leppard, when
American
Led
women.
Zeppelin stole musical ideas from other artists and put it on their songs, they still, they're still Led Zeppelin. My point is when that happens, if we play tic-tac-toe and you lose, you lose. It's not
Right.
it's yeah, but it's not a
You
theft.
understand that people are trying to change the game. They're not trying to go back and change what happened. They're just trying to change the
I
game in its
understand,
current
but
state.
it's
So,
not
so would
necessarily
you? So then
theft.
it's fair then. If they do, if there was a white genocide, that would be fair, right? That's how the world works. It's conquering.
Oh, I didn't say that. But I
What
never
do you
said the
mean?
world was supposed to be fair. Who said the world was supposed to be fair?
Not fair, but I'm saying like no, you wouldn't be upset. Nobody should be upset about that. That's the way the world works. Lands get conquered.
Upset about what?
If there were a white genocide, which there isn't, but if there were, just hypothetically speaking, that should be fine with everyone. That's how the world works.
Why should that be? I don't understand. Why should that be
Because
fine
you're
with?
saying that it is what it is. That's how it is. That's it. Somebody
No,
comes and takes someone's land, and
what
now
I'm
it's fair.
saying is that we cannot judge actions of the past through the consciousness that we're on now. That's what I'm saying.
A
I didn't
consciousness
say
that
anything
who
about the
are
future, right? As
well,
we go
right,
on into
and
the
even
future,
people,
hopefully we become even more higher consciousness and we leave a
right,
lot more of those things in the past.
agreed. And I
But
would
as
like
it
to think,
stands, we do not judge things from the past from this level of consciousness.
well, I agree with you there, and I'd like to think if I was a
So
descendant
I'm
of
not
a
talking
Boer,
about it was stolen land. They were not at this level of consciousness.
but now they are, so now they know. Now they're aware. They
No,
understand that
no,
that
no,
was not
no. Those
their,
people,
that they
no, no,
were,
no, no, no,
that white
no.
people aren't
Those
made.
people are gone. There are new people
That's
now.
unfair. I mean, okay, sorry to use the word fair again, because I understand the implications of such. What I'm saying is that in society, and this is a civil atmosphere that I'm talking about, people are, we pay for our past all the time. Like we just do. Like we pay for our government's debts. We pay for all type of stuff. Like
Yes,
that's just the way that it works.
yes.
That's right. So as far as consciousness goes, I would like to think, and I would like to see a time where people take accountability for reaping the benefits of their ancestors, just like we are lumped in one black community or black and brown community or whatever. We have to look at that and be like, oh, those are my people, those are our people. Like, why wouldn't you? I'd like to think if I was a
I don't
descendant of a
understand the
Boer, let
whole
me finish.
we
If
thing.
I, what'd you say?
I don't understand the whole we thing
I,
that a lot of
I
people
don't
do.
either.
Let me finish this real quick.
Okay.
As far as I know, the only thing I got control over is me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand the whole we thing
Well, I don't understand what control has to do with anything.
because I don't have no control over none of that.
I don't need control over it. I'm
Well,
not asking for
you're saying
control over
that people
anything.
need to do things and this
I
needs to
didn't say
happen.
need to. I said I would like to see and I would like to think that if I was a descendant of a Boer, that I'd be like,
Well, I'm
damn.
just going to give up my birthright.
No, I would though like to think that I would think like as far as karmic debt goes,
I'm just
I
going to
have a
give up
different
everything
belief.
I've ever known because my parents did something.
Well, yeah, if you're giving it all, you're getting it all again from the
That
greatest
is
country on
the
earth for
most
nothing.
unrealistic thing that
I
you
said
would
I
think.
would like to think.
Yeah, well, that's
Okay, I'm
just,
not saying I would do that. I don't
I
know what I
wouldn't do
would do in
that.
this situation, but I would never be in this situation because that's not
I
how the
ain't got
world
nothing to
works
do with
currently
how,
because I have the
look,
wrong
I
skin
was just
color.
born.
Hmm?
See, I would never do that. I would not advocate for that. That sounds
I
ridiculous.
know a lot of people who would.
Oh,
A lot of
knock yourself
people,
out.
honestly. And only good can come to your
There's
life
there's
that
all
way.
ends of this. There's all
I
pieces
would
to this
actually help
spectrum.
them to relearn the all the skills that were taken from them. I really would. Like that's just who I am. I just don't. And it's not even black specific. Like I feel the same. I have an affinity towards the rural South, the white people. I just do. I think our stories are they're not so far off, and I would help them too.
I
That's
just
just how
don't know
I
how
am.
you spend so much time outside of yourself.
It's not outside of myself. My
Yeah,
heart is in me. It's not
it's
outside of
your
myself
heart.
because I could
But you
spend
do,
time
but you
doing
can't. But listen,
frivolous stuff.
but only thing that you have control over is what's in your sphere.
I'm clear there. I'm so clear there. My kids have been raised with creativity, a father, like we have a very stable, solid foundation. We all have our creativity that we persevere. We have hobbies. We have all these things. I personally pursue things that pull at my heartstrings. Things like
But
this.
you're not really pursuing this. You're talking about it. But look,
That's
okay,
a
so if
start,
you were going
though.
to pursue,
That's a start. I write about it
okay,
too,
so let's
and
see.
I
If you were going to pursue something, what would your goal be
my goal would
with
be
this
one
what
thing
South African
like the
white farmer
documentary.
thing?
Well, no, I can't tackle that. That's why only talking about it is what I can do. And
Okay,
I
so
do
with
it to
this,
gain
but no,
insights
no, you
and
could
reach
stop. You
people
could talk about it. You can talk about it. You could flesh it out. So,
and
so
write
this
it.
whole South African, I mean, because you have strong opinions about it already. So, what would you like to see happen? Like, if you could do one thing with regards to the South African conflict, what would the first, if you could control just one thing and just make one change or
You
implement
in
one
control.
policy or just anything, if you could push this issue in one way or another, what would you do? How would you do it? Just
I
one
would
thing.
invoke, I don't
You
know how
know,
I would do it. I can say
well,
what I
just
would
the
do,
most important thing to you that you
what I
know.
could change. I wouldn't say control. It's a weird word, but to change, I would change the perception so that people have a little bit of understanding and empathy on what has transpired that creates these circumstances that create these tragedies and these misunderstandings. I would want that to be a thing. I would want people to have empathy and understanding in just somehow, because the world is cold as hell. And you listen to these people talking, it's like, it's just, it's, it's mind-boggling to me. How do you get to your conclusions, people? Like like Trump is wrong for he's wrong. Like he's wrong for presenting bad information and he's wrong for believing something without actually he could have gone to the country. I know there's been presidents who would actually have taken that flight like to see what was really going on before he just jumped the gun and just created a special refugee category and cut off everyone's
It's
else.
so weird. Sometimes you have like such a simplistic view of things. It's like so weird. Like he should go visit the
Things
country
are
in order.
simple.
Okay, no, it's not. Okay, look. That's just so weird.
It's so
Okay,
simple
he is
though.
not the president of the world, first off. He's the
Oh,
president of the
don't let
United
him hear you
States.
say that. Don't,
Okay,
because the president of the Golden Dome and the blah 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 blah. He is very much.
okay, stay on the subject. He is not the president of the world, first of all.
I
He is the president of
agree.
the United States. So he cannot go to another country
To
and do police work.
not police work. I said to go and see this for himself. If this is happening
Right. He
before he
cannot
just
go
jumps
to
the
another
gun.
country and do police work.
He is
That is
so
not what
invited
he
to South
does.
Africa, not policing, oversight to see. Do you know how
He
many?
does
Do you know
not
how
do
many bases?
oversight in another
Do you know
country.
how many bases the United States has in Africa? Do you know AFRICOM?
Trump does not have oversight over South Africa.
He has oversight over the entire military.
Okay.
So yes,
He
he
does not
does.
have oversight. He does not have oversight over the South African military.
No, the United States military that has bases in South Africa. There is a partnership there. We give them money. It is a thing. I don't have anything to do with that, so I don't know the details of the deal. However, there is a thing, and that is not like out of the realm of Trump's oversight and overreach. He does it all the time. Like he can do whatever
If you could do
the
one
president lets
thing,
him
then
do.
you
The
would change
president
how people
invited him.
think.
He said, "Come and
Right.
see." Huh?
If you could do one thing, you would just change how people think.
The perception and
You would change how
understanding.
people think.
Well, see,
Yeah.
not think,
See,
see.
think.
They can think
Change how
however
they
they want
see.
after they see the perception is sight.
No, it's not.
So, well, yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's how you see something. That's the
Okay.
perception. Perception.
Right. But that is not the same thing as sight. We can look at the same
Okay, this is
thing.
semantic again. You know what I'm
It's not
saying.
semantic. You and I can look at
How
the
do you
exact
see?
same thing and see two different things.
Exactly. And
Right.
that is my perception
That's
of the
our perception.
situation.
That's not our sight. Our sight is seeing the
You
thing.
just said see two different things. That's sight.
No, I said we could look at the same
Same
thing
thing, right? Look at,
and
see the same
perceive
thing.
two different
Perceive.
things.
Exactly, perception.
Right. The
I would
seeing of
change.
the thing is the
Okay,
sight.
fine.
The
Fine.
interpretation is the perception.
Fine. Comma, period, exclamation point. I get it.
But
I get what
anyway,
you're saying.
so I mean, I'm just trying to, you wish you could get people to think differently about South Africa.
Or just empathize with
Feel
the
bad for them.
situation. Huh?
I think people would, yeah, I think people would argue that, there are a lot of things closer to home that you should be a little bit more worried about. But
I
okay,
agree with that too, Mr. President.
you know,
That's part of my point. Like, what the freaking heck? Like, there's I know this isn't your favorite subject, but there's street wars that need aid. Like there's street soldiers that are out here every day battling civil wars by definition. And there's nobody, you don't care about that. So yeah, I do think there's stuff closer to home that should be looked at before giving. There's there's black aboriginals that have so many proofs that want their freaking land back, and that's just ignored. Like there's
you
huge
don't get your
movements.
land back. There's no take back seas.
No, when it's documented that the papers were taken and burned and that leases and deeds were stolen and
Right.
fabricated, then yes, I
Yeah.
believe that
Okay. Yeah,
there's a
that's a
court.
little different. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's huge movements where people have this stuff and it's not being taken into account or even seriously. Meanwhile, he's given land to South Africans. I said that's my bottom line. And I feel like I've given sufficient proof
And
to
sometimes just,
support
so
that.
if you could change anything, you would just make people feel bad for South Africans,
No, not feel bad. Oh my
for the
God.
white, for the black South Africans.
So that's so dismissive. That's not at all what I'm saying.
It is what you're saying.
That's so dismissive.
How is it
No,
not what you're saying?
because what I'm saying is through a series of responsible reporting and informing, people would have the correct perception of what's actually going on. And the problem is
And you're certain that you have the
multifold.
correct perception of what's going on.
I don't have all the truth because we're not given it.
I'm just
I
saying,
would
you're
like
certain that
that to
your
be.
perception is the correct one.
I'm certain
I
that
feel
I
like I'm
have
looking through the
more.
keyhole into the neighbor's house. So I don't feel
No,
like
no, no.
no,
We
no. I said,
know.
listen, I'm telling you
Okay.
how I feel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
So
sorry. I
I'm
thought you said
asking
we
you
are.
if you're certain that how you feel is the correct way to feel. Like you're good. You're certain that you got all the available information and you're good on it.
I am only sure of the information that I have, adding to the conclusion that I have thus come.
You think any additional information will just bolster your opinion?
Well, that's been the pattern.
Yeah,
So
I got you. Yeah. Like I said, that report you showed me, that was the first time I saw that. I did not know the numbers that you broke down. So I have to look at them again because I understand propaganda too. That's why we don't watch a lot of Al Jazeera or Russia Tonight because you know what I'm saying?
right. I don't watch any of
Right.
that stuff. That's
Well, no,
why.
I mean, I
But
watch some of it. Listen,
I
there's good
mean, to say
reporting
what's
on
going on,
those
yeah.
channels as well. But the point
I do.
is that, I don't watch anybody and just say, oh, that's,
Right.
and you shouldn't either. People, when you watch it, sometimes the numbers are a little funny or how they present them is a little weird or whatever. So that
I
is
mean, yeah.
that's the first I've heard of that. If that is the case and it turns out to be that, that's something I think that's important that people should know. That's definitely, yeah. But, that's, it's not a bigger crisis as it would seem.
I would like to put up or give to you at least so you have it, the numbers and the sources that I've cited to show that those numbers are accurate according to census data and the police of South Africa for whatever that's
Yeah,
worth.
those are numbers I hadn't heard before. But I didn't really jump into the argument except to say that one of the guys seems kind of mean and kind of bullyish, and I don't like people saying kill white people. I don't like people saying kill nobody. So it's not just white people. I'm not
Right.
caping for white folks or nothing. I'm just saying, like, that's you doing a little much, bruh. That's all I'm saying. You doing a lot. I don't think you gotta do it like that. I think there's
Well,
a better way to
do
get
you
it
understand
done.
the history of that song though? It's an old song from back in Mandela's day. It's not a new
Okay,
song.
that's not that old, but okay.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not something that he just came up with to kill farmers, like they're saying.
Yeah,
Like, it's not a thing.
I'm just saying that any person can see how inflammatory that song would be to anybody, and it don't take a genius.
Do you remember Scary X?
It's like what's that song that you so you told me about this song, the nigger song or the coon song? What was that?
Oh, every race has a flag, but the coon.
Right. You
Right.
can't go into the hood singing that song.
You might not want to, no, but
No. So,
correct,
singing
correct. But
Kill the
also, the hood
Boar
didn't do
in front
anything to
of,
these people, though.
but see, still singing Kill the Boar in front of the white farmer. I mean, you
I
gonna
know.
get the
I
hood.
just feel like you have all the things, you own all the wealth in the country. Then maybe you could do it with a song, just like you tell me that it's just a word. It's just a song. Nobody's actually doing that.
Um,
It's just a song,
okay.
and it's an
But
old
they
song,
are
and it helps.
actually doing that, just not on the
No,
scale. No, they are, but just not on the scale
no,
that
there are
so they're not
farm
killing white farmers
robbers.
at all. No white
Yes, they
farmers at all.
are, but they're killing
Okay,
a
so they
lot.
are doing that.
Not because they're white.
What do you mean not
They're
because they're
not
white?
killing farmers for anything except for when a robbery goes bad. That is the
I didn't say
understanding.
we're not talking about the reasons.
Right.
Stop
So that's like,
stop
so it's
jumping from
singing a
one thing
fairy
to another
tale.
thing.
It's just a fake thing. That's
They
a
are
song.
being killed. If only two of them got killed while they singing that song, that's plenty.
Okay. Okay. That's
I mean, it's
fine.
not if you
It's
can't
not
say
saying.
nobody's died,
Do you remember Ascari X?
huh?
Do you remember Ascari X, the artist, the rapper from
I
back
don't think I
in
ever heard of a
90s?
Starry X.
All the Pecker Woods better hide tonight. That you don't remember that? It
No.
was, it was that was pretty inflammatory. That we don't play that anymore. But I hear you. I mean, it's not nice, I guess. I just feel like these mother people should have thicker skin, and because of all the things. Like you can't just say history didn't happen. I'm a cool person. Like
Listen,
you
I
gotta.
understand our past brings us to where we are, but it ain't where you from, it's where you at.
True, but if you're missing half of everything and your whole history and your lineage and everything, you might be a little bit salty.
Some
You might
people
be
do it, and
a little confused, a little
I
traumatized.
think it probably depends on what you focus on.
That's fine. I agree with that. I mean, I don't put much thought into it until I'm actually trying to do my lineage, and then I get pretty frustrated because, I like to know where your roots are. Anyway, President
Eh,
Trump,
I
in
see your
closing, I
kitty
would
in the
like to just say that
background.
President Trump
Is
needs
that a
to
litter
get,
box right there? Oh no.
no, why would
I thought I saw your cat getting ready to do some
no, he's
business.
messing with my flowers because he's a bad cat. They're very cute little
Terror. So.
Hitlers. No, I'm just kidding. I can use that right as a descriptor. No, too soon. All right.
All right,
Well,
Leah.
good talk. Wasn't
I'll see you
wasn't so
tomorrow.
quick, but see, I will see you tomorrow.